What's up, family? So, today I want to talk to y'all about something that a lot of us, including myself, we don't really like to talk about because it's something we don't really want to do. And what that is sacrificing. Sacrificing things for the success or sacrificing things for the happiness or the peace that we say we want, right? Like we say we want all these different things, but the question is, what are we willing to do to achieve them? When I think about sacrificing for success, and the definition of the word sacrifice is to give up something. A lot of us don't want to give up something to make it happen. And that's just, I think it's more of like just something about being a human. But there's a small percentage of people that are willing to make the sacrifices. And those are the people that we see that get the success, that hit the peak, and we've kind of feel like, maybe we're not capable to do it, but we are. When you think about sacrificing, for me, I'm just going to start straight with it. There were times in my life where I wasn't successful, and it's because I chose not to sacrifice. There were times in my life where, I wanted to start this business, or I wanted to make a certain amount of money because I saw people doing it on social media. And I'm like, man, I can do that. And the truth is, I can do that. And you can do whatever that thing is that you want to do. But what are you willing to give up? The thing for me that I wasn't willing to give up at that time was watching TV. And I know for a lot of people that can be something that you do as well. Like, I will binge watch a season of Grey's Anatomy. I mean, completely binge watch it. I know everything that's going on in Meredith Grey's life. But I'm over here focused on Meredith Grey, an actress, doing a scene, but I'm not working on my craft. But I want to be successful and I want to get money. It don't work like that. I'm over here, it's crazy. Like, and I've seen it so many times, but I watched a complete series of it. Girlfriends, I rewatch it. I'm watching Joan and Tony. I'm really watching them be successful in their life, kicking back, watching it, while I'm over here not achieving my goals. That does not make sense. And some of us are doing that. Some of you all are doing that, watching the game, playing the game, doing all that stuff, but you haven't completed what you say you want to do. You haven't put in the time and effort into what you're saying you want to do. So that's one thing that I know for sure. A lot of people are going to have to be willing to sacrifice if you want to reach success. Like, you're not going to be able to do the same thing. The version of you that is unsuccessful, or I don't even want to say unsuccessful, the version of you that's not achieving at the rate and at the rate that you want to achieve at, you can't stay that version of you. Something has to change. Something has to shift. And when something shifts, it's going to have to be a sacrifice. It may be sacrificing, you already know, the phone. The phone is probably the number one reason you aren't successful. The phone is the number one reason you ain't getting things done. The phone is the number one reason you're distracted. You have to eliminate the distractions and put the blinders on. You got to block out the noise. I mean, however that looks. And then I have people tell me, well, coach, I got to be on social media for my business. True. You do got to be on social media for your business if you want to promote it, if you want to connect and engage with people. But let's keep it real and be honest with yourself. How much time that you're spending on social media is actually utilized towards engaging, connecting, marketing, and doing those things for your business, or gaining knowledge for your business, versus time spent getting tea, versus time spent on the shade room, versus time spent on TMZ, figuring out what's going on with Portia and Simon, or figuring out, Lil Scrappy and his ex Erica back together, got divorced from Bambi. How much time is spent doing those things? And be honest with yourself. And that's the thing. A lot of us don't want to be honest and say, you know what? I'm not on there getting information. I'm not on there connecting. I'm on there scrolling. And when you scroll, you just start wasting time. You're wasting valuable time that you can be using going towards your craft. Another thing that we waste time in, that we need to sacrifice, and I'm going to make sure I say this clear because I know a lot of people, they don't like this one, but we got to sacrifice some of our sleeping time. And not saying you need to sleep 4 hours a day, 6 hours a day. If you want to sleep your full 8, sleep your full 8. I'm talking to the people that are sleeping in, hitting the snooze, saying I don't have time, but you have this amount of time. You sleep in 10 to 12 hours a day because you're putting the wrong stuff in your body. You drinking, you smoking, you staying up late watching TV, you out at the club, you hanging with your friends, you rolling with the homies. You doing all this, so you tired. You can't get up. And people that tell me they don't have time, I'm like, do you not have time, or can you not make the time? Because think about this. If you spend, we're going to just say, let's call it 2 hours. If you spend 2 hours a day on social media, or you spend 2 hours a day playing video games, or you spend 2 hours a day watching Netflix, any of those are, typical daily things that we do. So that's about 15 hours a week. We're going to add 1 hour in there because I don't know if I could do the math on 14. We're going to say we had 15 hours a week, right? That's 60 hours a month. We had 60 hours a month. And I know most people are more than this, but we just going to call it 60. We had 60 hours a month. We got 12 months in a year. So we had 660. We had 720 hours. 720 hours of your year, if you just spend 2 hours a day on doing these things, right? 720 hours of your year, time spent, is on your phone. And I know it's way more than that, but we just going to say 720 just to keep a simple number. What if you spent those same 720 hours working to gain knowledge on your business? What if you spent those same 720 hours learning about finances, learning about how to invest your money and allowing it to grow versus it just sitting in a bank account losing its value because you don't have it in anything that's growing interest or anything like that because you don't know? What if you use your time to find out, right? What if you, those same 720 hours you use to take a class, get a certification so you can up your skills and whatever it is you're trying to do? What if you use those same 720 hours to meet with your business partners or friends that are doing things that align with what you have for your vision versus spending on your phone, spending it out? So just think about that. Like if we break it down and look at it from a different standpoint, that's 2 hours a day. 2 hours a day adds up, and it can add up to go into where you're withdrawing from yourself or you deposit it into yourself. It's just like a bank account. You can, if you're using those 720 hours for social media, getting the tea, let me see what's going on, and you're using that 720 hours for sleeping past the time, the 8 hours, you're using that 720 hours playing the game, playing Madden, playing Mortal Kombat, playing Roblox. I know a lot of grown folks do that too. If you're using it for those things versus depositing into yourself, come on, think about it like that. What are you willing to sacrifice? Like, you got to be willing to sacrifice some of these things in order for you to meet your goal. Emmett Smith said it, I think it was at the end of a commercial years ago, where he said, all men are created equal, but he said all men are created equal, but some work harder in the preseason. All men are created equal. Some just work harder in the preseason. And what that means when I hear that is, if you all are familiar with sports or anything, the preseason, and this pertains to life, the preseason is you getting ready to perform what you're trying to do, whatever sport you're trying to play, whatever business you're going after. Pretty much, you stay ready so you don't got to get ready. It's the same concept. But there are some people that work harder in preseason. There's some people, we'll use health and fitness, where a lot of people say, oh, I'm about to get my summer body. Some people, most people work on that in the winter time, right? If you're trying to get your summer body, but yet if you're not working hard in the preseason, which is the winter, right? You got Thanksgiving in there, you got Christmas, but you say you're working on your summer body, and you got this goal to drop weight, to tone up, to have a healthier heart, to get better cholesterol, to get your blood sugar down, all these different things that are super important. But yet, every time you tempt it with a cake at Thanksgiving or a pie, you can't say no. Christmas come around, you got to have the cookies, you got to have the chitlins, you got to have all that stuff. You can't say no. You're tempted and you're not willing to sacrifice it. So my question is, how bad do you actually want it? Be honest with yourself. And I'm the person that's like, hey, be honest with yourself. Don't say you want it for me. Don't say you want it for them. Don't lie to yourself. You got to look in the mirror every single day at yourself and know, I really don't want it that bad. If I did, I wouldn't be doing these things. If I did, I wouldn't be sleeping in. If I did, I would take my hand out the cookie jar. If I did, I would get up and go work out. If I did, I would put time into my craft throughout my day. I'm not going to spend my time on the phone socializing about garbage. I'm not going to spend my time going to a lounge partying up like it's 1999. That time is up. Time is up for that. We can no longer afford, especially now. Like, when y'all think about what people in the past, they paved the way for us to have the opportunities that we have today, where we now have the resources. Years ago, and not even that long ago, we didn't have access to the resources. Now we do. What's our excuse now? We now are getting access to the resources, but we're still choosing not to take advantage of it. At that point, we have to take some type of responsibility. We have to be willing to sacrifice it. Kobe Bryant was one of the greats at what he did, and he said we can all be masters of our craft. Because Kobe, if anybody knows Kobe, he had the Mamba mentality. He was crazy. His game was crazy. His work ethic out of this world. But he said we can all be masters of our craft, but we're going to have to sacrifice some things. Kobe said you have to sacrifice time with family. You may have to sacrifice time with friends. You may have to sacrifice time hanging out. And I know for some, they're like, I don't want to sacrifice that. Life's too short. And maybe you can do it differently. It doesn't have to be the way Kobe did it or some of these greats that we hear about. Maybe it's different. Maybe you still go hang out with your friends, but maybe y'all not going to have drinks and margaritas and hanging out the lounge. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I've been there. I've done these things, but it's just time for us to shift our mindset. Maybe when you go hang out with your girlfriends, maybe y'all meeting up at a networking event. Maybe y'all meeting up to go to a coffee shop and discuss y'all business plans and how you can come together and how that can look. Maybe y'all are going just to gain information or take some classes together. Maybe y'all going to church together, doing something positive, right? It can look different. So not saying, oh, you got to give up this, you got to give up that. Maybe it looks a little different. So I just want us to really learn or really understand and gain an understanding, like, we all can be successful. It's just how much are we willing to sacrifice? How hard are we willing to work at it? Some of us are willing to work a little harder. I know for me right now, I'll take it back. Me in the past, I was not willing to sacrifice. I truly wasn't. But last year, I had to sacrifice a lot of things. I had to sacrifice some people in my life. I had to sacrifice some family members in my life for my peace. This ain't just about success. Sometimes you have to sacrifice people and things as well. When we're talking about peace and happiness, because I don't want to just harp on success, because my peace and my happiness, to me, they go along with my success, and I'm sure that's for everybody else. But my peace is very important. So sometimes you have to sacrifice and give up friends and family members if they're not positive. If they're, sometimes you got to subtract people from your life. And last year for me was a year of subtraction. And I'm okay with that because it brought me peace. So sometimes you have to sacrifice those things. It just has to look a little bit different. It's time for us to shift our mindsets, because I know you want peace. I know you want happiness. I know you want success. But what are you willing to do to get it? Like, what are you willing to give up? Like I said, last year, I took off over a year on social media. I wasn't on there. I had to eliminate the distractions. I had to block out the noise. I had to tune into me and find out, what is my purpose? What am I here for? Because I know it ain't just to get up, go to work, and come home. It can't be that. So I had to eliminate all distractions, whether it was social media, whether it was people, whether it was things that I was doing in my life to myself. I had to eliminate those things and refocus. So I want you to take from this is, yeah, you have to sacrifice. But the sacrifice mean, I just got to give up all these things. I can no longer eat a cookie. I can no longer go and get fast food. I mean, because those are things that when you have these health goals, you're probably going to have to sacrifice. No, it doesn't mean you have to just give it up completely. What about working in moderation? What about not getting a whole meal and getting just a sandwich and cutting that sandwich in half? What about cutting back a little bit? What about not eating processed foods all the time and cooking some things at home, taking meal preps to work? It's about moderation. And then always reward yourself. Like, reward yourself. If you make all these sacrifices, it is okay to reward yourself. Me, if I get up every day at 5 a.m., which I do, and I pour into myself and I do everything I'm supposed to do, because I say I aspire to greatness every single day. If I do those things, if I, at the end of the week, want to sit and watch Love is Blind, an episode of it, I think I deserve that. It's not just giving it up completely. We're here to have fun. We're here to go. I was at the Hawks game the other week. I can do those things because I've done what I was supposed to do first. take care of your business first, and then go play. Work hard, play hard. But you have to start making the sacrifices. You got to figure out, be honest with yourself. I want you to take an hour and be still. I know that's one of the hardest things to do, but take an hour and be still and figure out, what am I doing that is preventing me from getting to where I say I want to be? What is it that is stopping me and preventing me and hindering me from achieving my goals? Because there is something, but you have to you have to first be honest with yourself. First, whatever. You got to be honest with yourself. That's the first step. Do it today. Be honest with yourself and figure out, what am I doing that's preventing me from hitting my goals? And then once you find out, am I willing to give that up? Do I want to give that up? If the answer is no, okay, cool. You're okay. You're okay with where you are. And that's okay. If that's what works for you, that's what works for you. But if you like, hell no, I want more. I don't feel at peace. I don't feel happy. I don't feel like I'm in my purpose. I don't feel fulfilled. I don't feel like I'm knocking things off my list. I don't think I'm on the path to success. Then that's that point where you say, what am I willing to sacrifice? And then you sacrifice it. And then you go after whatever that goal is for you every single day. And when it gets hard, because it's going to get hard, you remember why. You remember why you're doing it. You remember why you're sacrificing it. And then reward yourself along the way. Reward yourself along the way. And the last thing I'm going to say is, get some accountability partners. If you feel like, I can't do this, it's going to be too hard, I've tried it before, get you an accountability partner. Get you somebody that's close to you that's going to be willing to be honest with you and say, hey, you said you were going to lose this weight, and I'm watching you go out and eat, full plates of things that aren't good for you. I care about you, and I know you say you wanted to sacrifice it. So, hey, put that down, baby girl. Get you an accountability partner. Get you somebody that really, truly cares about you reaching your goals, and you're going to be good to go. So, hey, it's a season of sacrifice. It's a season of sacrifice to get the success, peace, and happiness you want in life, and I know you can do it. So, y'all, like I say all the time, playtime is over. The time is now. Let's get it.